The following is a presentation of the Vol Network. Closed captioning provided by the University of Tennessee full-time MBA program. Learn, transform, lead. It all starts here. This is Tennessee.
I want the whole city of Knoxville to know that it's football time in Tennessee.
A passion that knows no equal. The heart and soul of the Volunteer State.
Show me you want to run the football.
Handoff gets to the outside. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Wow.
For the next 60 minutes, you're tuned to Vol Network coverage of the Tennessee Volunteers.
Football rewards those who wear your opponent out psychologically and physically.
The most celebrated of traditions.
When you step on the field, there must be a sense of purpose.
The pass is going to be caught. Unbelievable catch. Maggie goes down back at the 23-yard line.
Let's go. I've been waiting for this one.
Touchdown, Tennessee to Pick Howard.
I want to win for you.
Welcome to the Butch Jones Show. Hosted by Tennessee head football coach Butch Jones and the Vol Network's Bob Kessling. Brought to you by the Big Orange Debit Card, only from the official bank of the Vols, First Tennessee. By your local Ford dealer, Tennessee Saturdays, built Ford tough. By Dish, never miss a moment of Vol action. Catch the Vols on Dish, proud partner of Tennessee Athletics. By Farm Bureau Insurance, with agents in more communities than any other insurer, Tennessee turns to Farm Bureau Insurance, the official insurance of the Vols. Now, the Butch Jones Show.
Tennessee's first road game of the season was at third-ranked Oklahoma. It was a game that really Tennessee was in it in the second half. Coach, you had to be proud of the way your team fought against the Sooners.
Well, I thought we showed great resiliency and great effort, and that's what we want to do is continue to play, not look up at the scoreboard, and just keep playing and hanging on and hanging on, and I thought our kids did that. There are some critical moments in the game that obviously flipped it, and what our players, our young football team is learning, and they'll continue to learn, that a football game, you play 80, 90 plays, and it can come down to 2 to 3 plays. You never know what 2 to 3 plays are going to make the difference. But, you know, I was proud of our discipline, 1 penalty all night. When you go on the road, a hostile environment, crowd noise, and only have 1 penalty, and that was on special teams. I thought that was great to see. Defensively, third down, we held an explosive offense to 3 out of 12 third down conversions. So a lot of things. I thought we were able to establish the run game in the second half, particularly in the fourth quarter. But again, we can't turn the football over. And the plan to win never changes. You have to score touchdowns in the red zone, and unfortunately we weren't able to do that.
But still, it's 27-10, and twice you're thrown into the end zone for touchdowns. You convert those, and now you really got a ball game.
Well, it's a game of momentum. And again, you know, the 1 interception return, that's a 14-point swing. I thought one of the other critical plays of the game was right before the first half. We felt very confident that we would have a turnover, a change in possession, so to speak, but obviously that didn't happen. So sudden change, you have to now rally the troops, and we gave up a touchdown, and you can't have that. You can't allow that to happen.
How do you think your young players adjusted to life on the road for the first time, especially in a tough place to play?
Well, 47% of them were making their first road trip, but I thought they handled it well. Again, a lot of things to go back and improve, but again, especially when you're starting the inordinate amount of freshmen on the offensive line. And I looked out there at one time, we had a true freshman at right guard, right tackle, tight end, running back, and wide receiver all on the right side of the line. And again, a lot of times that's marred with, you know, pre-snap penalties, mental penalties, which we spoke about. We didn't do that, and that was great to see, and we'll continue to work and improve and get better.
When we come back, we'll take you on Tennessee's first road trip here on the Butch Jones Show.
It's time to honor the Adidas Vol Scholar of the Week. This week we recognize Kurt Majit. The junior defensive lineman is currently pursuing a degree in communication studies.
I've learned a lot about the study of communication and how we interact with each other and become an effective communicator, going from just interpersonal communication to more mass communication. When I'm done with ball, I want to do something while I'm interacting with others.
Majit uses the communication skills learned in class to be a vocal leader on the field.
You don't communicate the same with everybody, and being a leader on a team, I've learned how to speak to the team as one, my nonverbals, eye contact, and just a lot of small things help me become a better leader and a better speaker. Communication studies helped me a lot in that aspect.
Congratulations to this week's Vol Scholar of the Week, presented by Adidas, the official footwear and apparel provider of the Vols.
You know, obviously we're going into a pretty chaotic environment, hostile environment at Oklahoma. So we're trying to create as much chaos and adversity for our guys as possible. So we've added crowd noise, music, sound effects, you name it, we do these.
We've put them to the extreme as far as the noise and how hard it is to communicate, and try to make it to where it's believe it or not, easier than when they come off the sidelines. They felt like they were prepared and practiced a lot harder.
One of the main things in going into an environment like this is being able to communicate in such situations. So we're making it as hard as we can on our guys to communicate both verbally and visually.
It's pretty crazy. You know, he's just trying to get us prepared for our first away game.
So it's just going to be a loud environment, and we just got to improve our communication during practice and take advantage of this time in practice.
Mainly our goal is just to make sure we get everything on there, all the trainer stuff, all of our equipment stuff, and just a lot of it just going through the list, you know, once it gets on there, marking it off, and just making sure we got everything on there, paying attention to detail for sure.
There's a checklist for each trunk that's rolled onto the trailer, and then we have a master checklist once it is rolled onto the trailer.
A lot more work that goes into it than people actually see. You know, all they see is the players running out in the field, fully dressed with all their helmets looking nice and shiny and their jerseys clean and shoes nice and fresh too. And so, I mean, it's just a lot of work that goes in behind the scenes that most people don't see. But that's the stuff that we do, and we enjoy doing it. That's part of what we do.
It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of people to get the Vols on the road.
Well, the volume of work is incredible, and they do a tremendous job, and he's exactly right. A lot of people see the finished product, but they don't understand the hours, the countless hours of what goes into it. And then after the game, the picking up of everything, making sure everything's locked, sound, ready to head back to Knoxville. So they do a tremendous, tremendous job. Been fortunate to be around some great equipment staffs, but this by far is the best in the country, and they mean everything to us.
Roger Frazier, of course, heads up the equipment guys, but you got to have doubles for everything. You got to have extra shoulder pads. You got to have extra shoes. You never know what you're going to need, but you got to have extras of everything, don't you?
Well, the other thing that's critical is during the game. You know, an individual's helmet breaks. They come off. That time that they miss is valuable. So again, you have to be able to fix the helmet immediately. So maybe they only miss one play and get them back in the game. And quite simply, that can be the difference between winning and losing. So the equipment staff is very intense, to say the least, on game day.
Quite orchestrated, but they do a great job. When we come back, we will have a conversation with Tennessee safety Brian Randolph here on the Butch Jones Show.
Handoff on first down, and bang, what a hit. Worley back to throw. He dumps the ball down the field. The pass caught at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Tennessee. Josh Smith. A 40-yard pass from Justin Worley.
The Butch Jones Show is being brought to you by Verizon, America's largest and most reliable network. Verizon, official wireless provider of the Tennessee Volunteers. By UT Medical Center, Tennessee's hospital. UT Medical Center, wisdom for your life.
By the natural gas utilities and pipeline companies in Tennessee.
Natural gas.
And by Food City, the tailgating headquarters of Vol fans everywhere. Food City. Value every day.
Over half of our football team will be going on their first road trip,
but I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a great challenge for these youngsters, but you know, I think it's needed in our evolution and our maturity as a football team. I think we all know what's in store this week, playing a top 3, top 4 opponent in Oklahoma, and very, 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 very deservingly so.
He's just trying to keep our minds right, keep them set on football. You know, no matter where you play, it's still a game of football. So we got to go out there for 60 minutes, try to play a 4-quarter game, and bring the win home.
Tennessee, you had a walkthrough at the stadium on Saturday, so you had the whole day in the hotel. You broke it up and you took the team over to the stadium. What did you want to accomplish there?
Well, you want to keep them moving and constantly thinking about football. It's a balancing act with nutrition, rest, but also keeping them active. And it was a long, long wait. Obviously, you know, with the time change, you're playing an 8 o'clock game. So again, we mixed the day up. We got them up early, had a great breakfast, did a walkthrough to get them moving around, then went to the stadium. I always like for them to go to the stadium prior to the game to kind of get their minds right. So when you show up, there's a familiarity in terms of the field, the stands, and also the locker room. And then you come back, you have lunch, and you give them some downtime, some rest, take a mid-afternoon walk, and then you're in pregame and you're ready to go.
You know, a lot of people were talking about how would this young team react going on the road? Would they be in awe? Would they be starstruck? I didn't see any of that. I think they came ready to play, and they played hard.
They were ready to play. And now it's understanding what it takes to play winning football, particularly when you go on the road. And again, you know, being outstanding in the red zone. We have to be able to score touchdowns in the red zone. I thought all game long, Oklahoma controlled the field position. And again, even though our defense did a great job on third down conversions, we have to generate some third downs to maintain that field position. And so these are all learning experiences. But again, I thought our players handled the distractions very, very well. I think that was evidenced by the penalties. And again, it's just making critical plays at critical stages of the game.
One of the veteran players on this young football team is safety Brian Randolph, and Rick Russo has a profile of the Tennessee safety man.
Dowdy back, looks, rolls out right, he's got some room, he might run. No, he fires for the end zone. The pass intercepted in the end zone. Intercepted by Brian Randolph. He brings it out to the 10, 15, 20, and down he goes. A turnover, another interception, Brian Randolph.
As the quarterback of the Vol defense, Brian Randolph must have a special set of skills, both mentally and physically.
Very vocal, very physical, very smart, intelligent player, takes that leadership role with pride.
He brings knowledge to the table, first and foremost, along with his playmaking ability. As he makes plays on the field, I think it makes other people want to make plays, and as he steps up, it makes other people want to step up. So by him being a leader, it elevates everybody else's game as well.
Being a safety at Tennessee means a lot to me. The whole reason I came here is for Eric Berry. I saw the way he plays safety. I wanted to name my play after him, so it's just trying to keep that tradition.
Having the trust of your teammates is essential to being a leader. And the trust the secondary shows in Brian is derived from his experience on the gridiron as well as in life.
Definitely a big brother in our back end. Definitely a guy we can go to about anything, whether it's about football or even off the field. And a guy like that, definitely great to have in our back end. He stays on us, he pushes us each and every day, whether it's just with our technique or making plays. He brings out the most out of everybody.
I feel like being a leader is not telling people what to do, it's trying to help them out a little bit, give them some words of encouragement. If I'm out in practice, I kind of want to be a little bit quiet. I want to let the young guys make all the checks and calls by themselves. I don't want to spoon feed them. So at first I try to be quiet, but as soon as they get out the field and I see any corrections that they could have made, I try to let them know.
Communication is vital for the secondary to work as one unit on Saturdays, and Brian is responsible for keeping everyone accountable and focused, one snap at a time.
That bond and that brothership we have, for the most part, lets us make plays, but it knows, like, we know what to expect from, we know each other needs to be here, or we know each other needs to be there. Just being able to rely on each other and the accountability for each other, that we have for each other, definitely helps us play well. Like, the whole secondary is like tied to a string. So when he shows a certain coverage, I have to show the same coverage. When he goes down, I have to go to the high hole, same cover 3.
One of the main goals I have for myself every game is to make sure everyone's lined up, make sure everyone has a play call, just great communication, also make plays when needed. For our team, I just want us to keep being successful and do the best we can, don't give up any easy touchdowns, and just work together as a team.
For the Butch Jones Show, I'm Rick Russo.
Randolph, the big key to that secondary, isn't he?
Well, he is, and Rick said it the best as he used the words trust, first of all. They trust him, and then he also talked about him being the quarterback of the secondary. He gets us lined up, our players look to him, and Bob, we've really challenged him this year to be more vocal. He's been a quiet leader, and there's no such thing as a quiet leader. You know, we need him to step up and be vocal, and he's doing that right now.
Key member of the Tennessee defense, Brian Randolph. Now here's the Media Mash with Sarah Mitchell.
That's right, it's time to check in on this week's Twitter action that made us hit the retweet button. First up in this installment of Media Mash, Clint Morgan sent in a snapshot of his sleepy baby Ryder at his first tailgate, but he was dreaming of Rocky Top, no doubt. Go Vols Leslie called her little guy cheesing for Ride to the Top Button Tuesday. And Andrew Powell tweeted his smoky gray polo in support of Coach Butch Jones. It might be a staff divided in West Tennessee, but like these teachers and administrators say, there's always more Vol spirit. And staying with the school theme, here's a North Shore Elementary classroom showing volunteer spirit. From Tennessee to Oregon, Tennessee fans always wear orange and white. Andrew Saunders showed that here with VOLS written in the sand. And spirit starts from childhood, right? It looks like Jordan Daniel is training his kids right. Garland Kay named her Tennessee dog AJ. That's AJ Johnson to be exact. Remember, this is your time to shine. We need classic, clever, and all-out Vol spirit pictures for next week's show. Post them on Twitter and tag me at SarahUTK for your chance to be on next week's show. Don't go away, the Butch Jones Show will be right back.
Fans, your child's inside look at Tennessee athletics is available through the Junior Vols Club. Annual memberships include a Junior Vols t-shirt, monthly newsletters, free admission to select UT sporting events, and much more. For more information or to sign up for Junior Vols, visit utsports.com. Presented by the Knoxville Orthopedic Clinic, proudly serving the University of Tennessee Athletic Department since 1949.
Time now for Fueling Tennessee, presented by Humana, your health partner for life.
Hey Jordan, it's the middle of the season. You just got done with practice. You didn't have time to grab dinner. You're at home and you're starving. What do?
I grabbed me a rotisserie chicken.
Already made, right?
Already made.
Okay, so we're gonna make 2 different recipes of how to basically eat really fast and really good. What I have, 90-second rice. We're gonna use this. What's your favorite vegetable?
Broccoli.
Oh my gosh, I got broccoli.
Hey,
look at that.
Look at that.
Okay, so you work on the chicken here. So we're gonna go ahead and put this together. 90-second rice, super easy. And we got a vegetable. You're tired, you don't feel like cooking, you don't know how to cook. How long did that take?
30 seconds.
30 seconds after you put that stuff in the microwave. So here we go. We have a perfectly balanced meal with our protein, vegetable, carbohydrate. This is a good recovery. Now we have leftover chicken, Jordan. What are we gonna do?
We're gonna make a wrap.
Wraps?
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and do barbecue chicken wraps. You get your chicken pieces there.
Gotcha.
This is a what? What is this?
Carbohydrate.
Carbohydrate. You got the what?
Protein. Yeah.
Load that on there. Make it a man wrap.
I got you.
You can have this as a snack or as a meal. So we wrap this up. So we got our full meal. Chicken with a vegetable and a starch. Then with leftovers, we made a barbecue chicken wrap with broccoli. And then with even more leftovers, a chicken and cheese quesadilla.
And we still got almost half the chicken left.
We still got a lot of chicken. So you can see there's so many different things you can do with a rotisserie chicken. That's a good job, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fueling Tennessee, they're learning a lot about nutrition, and of course Allison works with them every single day.
Every single day. She puts in as many hours as the coaches. She's with us on the road trip. She's making sure the players are eating the proper things as shown just there. We'll even take them grocery shopping, teach them what to buy when they go to the store, and that stuff is invaluable. These are life skills that will last a lifetime. And the other thing is the facility that we have, our fueling station, is right in our strength and conditioning area. It's part of our sports science department, and they do a great job, as you can see.
Indeed. So Allison Meyer, she's every day with those players, trying to make sure they're eating right and getting bigger and stronger. And now a chance to look at one of the Tennessee freshmen, Dylan Bates. Danny Kleppinger profiles the Tennessee freshman linebacker.
Dylan Bates never realized his childhood was any different than any of his peers. But with a father that played 15 seasons in the NFL with 3 Super Bowl rings, his childhood was anything but normal.
Growing up, and Troy Aikman would be over at the house, and Emmitt Smith would be throwing the football in the backyard, and going to all these different events for the Cowboys, I just thought it was a normal thing that like every kid got to do. And now growing up and realizing that, having Emmitt Smith for dinner over like a couple nights during the week is not a normal thing. I just remember going out on the field, my dad's coaching, having a big old helmet on, big old shoulder pads, just running around with my friends, not really knowing what the game of football was, but knowing that there was this ball and you had to get it across this line.
Dylan was not forced to play football. In fact, it was his decision.
At an early age, my mom kind of sat me down and was like, you don't have to play football. You can go play soccer or pick up an instrument. So they gave it really to us by choice, but football has always been a part of my life and it always will be. It's always been something that I've dreamed of doing, and coming here is kind of making my dream come a reality, and it's just about how far I can take it.
A natural disaster turned to good fortune when it brought Dylan to Neyland Stadium for the first time. A memory he will never forget.
I remember there was a hurricane in Florida, and we had to evacuate for some reason, and we just made a trip up to Tennessee. And I remember they were playing UNLV. I remember going to the game and really just thinking like, wow, this is the biggest stadium I've ever been in my life. Like, this is where my dad went. This is so cool. And that's really when I really kind of fell in love with Tennessee and the tradition, and I think I was only like 9.
Now at the age of 19, Dylan is playing in that very stadium and participating in one of the traditions he fell in love with 10 years ago, running through the T.
I mean, that's something that I've been dreaming about for as long as I can remember. Just that feeling, that those butterflies, I mean, you do not get those butterflies ever unless you're playing this game or something else that's really important in your life happening.
The linebacker followed his father's path and now is making his own footprints. For the Butch Jones Show, I'm Danny Kleppinger.
Quite a football family.
I thank Bill and Denise Bates every day. And I tell you what, Dylan's going to be a great player, and it means something to him. It's very special being a Tennessee Vol, and he's very active. He has great football instincts. He's intelligent, and it's a story. It's like Jason Witten comes back for the Utah State game and to meet his family and his 2 boys, and it's the first time his boys had ever been to a Tennessee football game. And again, that's what we're building, that culture, and it all starts with the Bates family as well.
And of course, the whole family was here when Bill was a legend before one of the games.
Well, that was really, really neat. Bill was the Vol legend of the game before Arkansas State, so Bill actually went to pregame meal with us on Friday night. He sat in all the team meetings, and that was really neat. And you could see the emotion pouring out of him. All of a sudden he's here at a university that he loves, but also seeing his son go through everything before game. It was very special to sit there and watch all that occur.
And Bill still has that passion for the game too, doesn't he?
Absolutely. You can still see the intensity. I'm in a team meeting and I'm talking to the team Friday night, and he's the one sitting up in the chair. You could see the intensity. He was ready to play.
He sure was. When we come back, we'll talk about eye discipline here on the Butch Jones Show.
Timeout to check the stats. Brought to you by Dish.
Press the kicking game. Here is where the breaks are made. One kicker from Bogota, Colombia, supplied the Volunteers with plenty of those breaks. Check the stats. Fouad Reveiz tops multiple kicking categories in Tennessee's record book and still holds the record he set in 1982 for the longest field goal in Tennessee history.
The kick by Reveiz is in the air. Is that kick good? Good! From 60 yards.
Check the stats. Never miss a moment of Vol action. Watch live TV wherever you are. Learn more at dish.com/Vol. Catch the Vol on Dish.
The Butch Jones Show is being delivered by UPS. Let UPS put the power of logistics to work for you. Visit thenewlogistics.com. By Hyundai, proud supporter of college football and loyal fans everywhere. By Eastman Chemical Company, promoting sustainability. Remember, good sports always recycle. And by TRH Health Plans. We've got you covered. Get a rate quote online at trh.com or at your local Tennessee Farm Bureau office.
Eye discipline, it's something that you have to have on the defense. See a little, see a lot.
Where were your eyes? Eyes up. Put away. Yep, keep your eyes up.
See a little, see a lot. You put your eyes on your key and on your assignment, and it brings out the rest of the play.
Quick out. That's intercepted on the right side at the 35 to the 20. That's another pick six.
So once you do your job at keeping your eye discipline on your man or whatever your assignment is, then you fly around, and it makes the game much easier.
Keaton fires underneath. Intercepted by A.J. Johnson to the 20. Johnson cuts it back, still on his feet. Now taken down at the 13-yard line. He read that perfectly and jumped the route, Tim, and picks off the interception.
And as you do your job and focus on eye discipline throughout the play, then you'll be successful.
It's amazing you preach this every single day to the players.
Well, it sounds like it's easy, but it's one of the most difficult things that you have to do, particularly for young players. And so much, again, every individual play has its own job description in and of itself. So maybe you're coming on a blitz, all of a sudden the back goes to the flatter swings. You have to have what we call a peel and contain. So now all of a sudden you got to come off your blitz and you got to peel and cover the back. There's so many things that go into it. With the receivers looking to tuck, you should see their eyes and look to tuck, and on the safeties and the DB set it. See a little, see a lot. Again, putting your eyes, and a lot of times as a young linebacker or a young member of the secondary, you want to peek at the quarterback. And as we know, inches make the champion, split second, and in 1 second you look up and then he's by you.
Open date this week. You got 2 weeks to get ready for Georgia. What will you do this week, and how do you build off this Oklahoma game?
Well, we need to make this a very productive week, and it's a work week. And we have to go back and prove our deficiencies. We'll have fundamental improvement in all aspects, work on our kicking game as well, and then prepare for Georgia. And then nestled in that, our coaches will hit the ground running in terms of recruiting and attracting a top 10, top 5 recruiting class this year as well.
What do you take from the Oklahoma game?
Well, many things. First of all, the things that we did well. And, I thought we showed some resiliency. The care factor is very high with this football team. We hung around, but we didn't make the critical plays at the critical stages of the game that we need to. Again, the red zone, taking care of the football in the red zone, scoring touchdowns. But, we'll go back to work. And again, this football team is very hungry. And it's just a minor setback, and we need to continue to grow and build in the evolution of this football team. And this isn't anything we haven't been ready for. This is a young football team. I'm tired of using it as a crutch. It's not a crutch. It is what it is. That's the facts. And our growth and our maturation process has to occur week in and week out.
Coach, have a good week. We'll see you in 2 weeks against Georgia.
Thanks, Bob.
When we come back, we'll show you highlights from Tennessee and Oklahoma here on the Butch Jones Show.
Fans, join the Vol Network at Calhoun's on the River for Vol Calls. Talk Tennessee football with Butch Jones and the Vol Network's Bob Kessling every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Vol Calls, the official statewide coaches call-in show for UT Athletics.
Both teams 2-0. Oklahoma ranked number 3 in the country. And ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're listening in Big Orange Country, It's football time in Tennessee. Handoff on first down, and bang, what a hit at the 13-yard line. A.J. Johnson, he plants Alex Ross right on his back. He's got some time now. It breaks down, trying to get out of there, but he's sacked back at the 13-yard line. Gets rid of the pass. It's complete to the 43-yard line and out of bounds. Sets, looks, pressured, comes up, steps up, fires, complete down to the Oklahoma 40-yard line. The pass complete to Alton Big Howard. Worley sets up a screen pass down the near sideline to the 20, to the 30. That's Jalen Hurd. Gets the midfield and out of bounds. Back to throw. Sets up. Quick out. The pass is complete and breaking the tackle. Getting to the 45 to the 40. And a first down is Marquez North and out of bounds. Worley back to throw. He dumps the ball down the field. The pass caught at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown Tennessee. Josh Smith. A 40-yard pass from Justin Worley. Sets up, winds up, fires over the middle of the ball, batted in the air, a diving interception by Tennessee at the 15-yard line. The pass picked off by Ladarrell McNeil. End over end, short kick. It's going to bounce. Did it hit an Oklahoma player? Let's see. As the ball was coming downfield, we'll see if it hit an Oklahoma player, and it did. It's going to be Tennessee football at the 30-yard line. That's down, the kick on the way, and that kick spinning up and good. Aaron Medley gets Tennessee on the board here in the third quarter. Fake the handoff, and there it goes up the middle as Jalen Hurd coming down the sideline to the 40, to the 30, and taken out at the 25-yard line. Going to try a 45-yard field goal. Snap down, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. And the two head coaches will shake hands as Tennessee comes to Norman tonight. Made some mistakes. Oklahoma took advantage of them in the second half. This game was much closer as Oklahoma wins tonight over the Tennessee Volunteers. The final score from Norman, Oklahoma 34 and Tennessee 10.
John Bryce from VolQuest.com joins us here on the Butch Jones Show. Tennessee did put up a fight, didn't they?
Yeah, a very complete effort in terms of competing by Tennessee. And I thought the Vols really showed a lot last night in Norman, Oklahoma, just with a determination, a never quit factor. And I thought it was a completely different feel leaving that stadium last night in Oklahoma versus a year ago and leaving Oregon. And that's why I asked Butch Jones about it after the game. Butch said it's a much, much different locker room, a vastly different locker room. I followed up, asked the players about it. They all agreed.
You know, one thing I thought, John, in the game, at first the offensive line had a bit of problems picking up the blitzes, the different adjustments. They got better as the game went along, and that's a sign of maturity of this offensive line.
They got a lot better as the game went along. And Tennessee's most successful rushes came late in the game, late in the third quarter, all the way through the fourth quarter. I think that's a sign of a team starting to find an identity there, starting to find some footing. I thought it was very interesting when Butch Jones made a point to emphasize in his post-game press conference that would be Tennessee's 5 offensive linemen moving forward. Talked to Justin Worley about that as he walked out of the stadium. He said that's a big deal. Those guys can now work together. They'll have some cohesion with one another, and they'll be able to build some confidence.
Worley took some hits, stayed right in there, and showed a lot of grit and determination, didn't he?
Yeah,
leadership.
That's what I wrote about. Absolutely leadership. That's the thing that really stood out to me. I thought it's been Justin Worley's team, but I thought the gritty performance that he had last night really stamped his ownership of that team in a lot of ways, not just the offense, but a lot of the team. He told me he's probably never had to pick himself up that many times, but he never ever came close to blaming his offensive lineman, not on the field during the game, not after the game in any sort of post-game setting. He was very complimentary of those guys, said he was proud of them.
Yeah, and Worley really played hard for Tennessee. When we come back, we'll ask the coach with Mike Pajakian.
It's time to announce the AutoZone player of the game. Get in the zone, AutoZone. In the zone for Tennessee was Marquez North. The sophomore wideout led Tennessee with 6 catches against Oklahoma. On the season, North leads the Volunteers in receptions, receiving yards, and touchdowns. Congratulations to Marquez North, our AutoZone player of the game. For the auto parts, accessories, and advice you need, get in the zone. AutoZone.
The Butch Jones Show is being brought to you by Vol Network Home Entertainment. From Pat Summitt to Peyton Manning, Vol Network Home Entertainment has the greatest moments on DVD.
By Humana, over 50 years of experience in the healthcare industry. Humana, your partner in health.
by the natural gas utilities and pipeline companies in Tennessee.
Natural gas.
And by the Tennessee Education Lottery, proud to have raised over $3 billion for education programs in Tennessee. It's time now for Ask the Coach, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, a proud corporate sponsor of the Vols. Visit them online at academy.com.
Welcome back to Ask the Coach, presented by Academy. I am now joined with offensive coordinator Mike Bajakian, and your question is from Brady Adams. He says, Justin Worley seems to be in more command this season. What improvements have you seen from him?
Number one, I think he's been more decisive. With quarterback, it's all about making great decisions, protecting the ball, managing the game. And Justin has been assertive at the line of scrimmage, been decisive with the football, and I think that's led to more confidence.
We've seen big plays from Marquez North, from Jalen Hurd, from Alton Howard, those guys. How do you think that their practice is transferring to the field? They've done a good job, and they've done a good job since they stepped on the field and have arrived here at the university. Particularly Marquez now and Josh Smith, they've had a full year, if not more, in the program. And when it comes to the techniques involved, they've been able to master their techniques and master their trade. And the young guys, having got here in January, have also have a firm foundation and background upon which to build. So they've been able to translate their practice on the field to their performance. Let's talk a little bit about those newcomers, some of the ones that you just mentioned, and how you think your veteran players have really matured them and helped lead them out on the field. Well, it's we stress in our program the idea of family and leadership all the time, and accountability to your teammates, accountability to the coaching staff, and to Vol Nation. And our guys understand that there's a lot at stake every time they take a rep in practice, every time they take a rep in the game. So it starts with leadership, and we're seeing that even from the young guys that have come in. Leadership is influence, and we talk about, hey, have a positive influence on your teammates in any way you can. So it's been a very positive environment and one that makes it easier to grow in. And one of those positions is the O-line. Obviously, no secret that they're young, that you're dealing with a lot of newcomers. What have you seen from that position? Well, a grit and a tenacity. They're coming together. Their chemistry is developing. And sure, we might not be the biggest offensive line. We might not be the most athletic offensive line. But they understand that when it comes to playing with our style of play, that's what's necessary to win. A level of physicality, a level of effort. All right, Coach Bajakian, no huddle, up-tempo offense. Are we where you want to see us? I think as part of the nature of coaching is that you're never satisfied with where you are. But we've made great strides. This past game, we were able to snap the ball 47 times in the first half. The previous game against Utah State, we snapped the ball 48 times in the first half. By the end of the third quarter against Arkansas State, we snapped the ball 70 times. And then we put the brakes on a little bit to chew up the clock in the fourth quarter. So we are moving with good tempo, and that's been a point of emphasis all spring long, all training camp long, and will continue to be a point of emphasis throughout the course of the season. But there's always those minute details that we can correct and improve upon to help us move even faster. Well, awesome. It's great to talk to you. Thank you, Coach Bajakian, for sitting down with us today. Good luck. Thanks for having me.
It's obvious that Mike Bajakian has more weapons this year and he's using them.
Oh, there's no question. I think the first game, Tennessee completed passes to 11 different receivers. They're snapping the ball much more quickly. I think that first game they had 20 snaps with 20-plus seconds left on the play clock, nearly 8 to 10 snaps with 30 or so seconds left on the play clock. They're moving at a much better tempo. A lot of people talked about Texas A&M that first week of the college football season, Bob, for all the plays that they snapped against South Carolina. They snapped off 99. Through three quarters against Utah State, Tennessee had snapped off 76. So basically the exact same pace. And yet I talked with Mike this week, and he told me, I believe we have a higher gear that we can get to.
Tennessee gets set to take on the Georgia Bulldogs in 2 weeks. We'll preview that game next here on the Butch Jones Show.
Time now for the Tennessee Top 5, brought to you by Hyundai.
Here's Worley. Fake the handoff, and there it goes up the middle as Jalen Hurd coming down the sideline to the 40, to the 30, and taken out at the 25-yard line. Honeycutt is going to try a 45-yard field goal. Snap down, and it's blocked at the line of scrimmage. Waits for the snap. That's down. The kick on the way, and that kick spinning up and good. Aaron Medley. Knight out of the shotgun. Back to throw again. Sets up, winds up, fires over the middle of the ball, batted in the air, a diving interception by Tennessee. The pass picked off by Daryl McNeil. Worley out of the shotgun. Hurd to his right. Worley back to throw. He dumps the ball down the field. The pass caught at the 10 to the 5. Touchdown, Tennessee. Josh Smith.
It's time for the First Tennessee First Look, a scouting report and look ahead at the Vols' upcoming opponent. Brought to you by First Tennessee Bank, the official bank of the Vols.
In 2 weeks, Tennessee heads down to Athens, Georgia to take on Todd Gurley and the Georgia Bulldogs. They have one of the most dynamic rushing attacks in college football.
Yeah, a lot of people are wondering why Todd Gurley only got 20 carries yesterday in that loss to South Carolina. That was really surprising to me, especially late when Georgia had a chance to take the lead. First and goal situation, Gurley did not get the ball. Georgia got flagged for an intentional grounding, then missed a chip shot field goal. Never had a chance to tie the game after that. Very powerful rushing attack, a very aggressive defense.
But, you know, Georgia looked very good in one game, didn't look so good against, although they scored a lot of points against South Carolina. Still, it's a Georgia team. You really have to think about what you're going to get when Tennessee gets there.
Yeah, don't exactly know which Georgia team is going to show up, and I know a well-coached Tennessee team is going to show up. I thought it was remarkable that the Vols had no offensive or defensive penalties at Oklahoma with that many young players playing. So which Georgia team will show up, I'm not sure, but it will be an improved Tennessee team 2 weeks.
And these 2 weeks are really important now for this Tennessee football.
Critical for the offensive line particularly. Critical to get some guys healed up from all those ankle sprains and some other injuries, but really, really important for that 5-man offensive line to settle in and get some cohesion.
And a time for some of the guys to heal up a little bit too.
Absolutely.
And Tennessee needs that. Thanks for being with us for the Butch Jones Show. Again, no show next week because of the open date in 2 weeks. It'll be Tennessee and Georgia down in Athens. We'll have highlights for you 2 weeks here on the Butch Jones Show. For John Bryce and Coach Jones, I'm Bob Kessling. See you in 2 weeks.
This has been a presentation of the Vol Network, produced by IMG, the world's premier sports, media, and entertainment company. Produced at the Huster Broadcast Center.